Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into something truly fascinating. We're breaking down HITI's Q2 2026 financial results. And honestly, I want to completely reframe how you look at this kind of data. This isn't just a standard look back at a quarterly earnings report. No, this is an absolute masterclass in building compounding business momentum. It's exactly the kind of playbook you want to study, whether you're an investor, an entrepreneur, or just keeping an eye on the industry. We're going to unpack exactly how a company structures its operations to scale aggressively, but also sustainably, in a wildly competitive global market. Okay, let's dive into this. $179.3 million. I wanted to hook you right away with this massive, record-breaking quarterly revenue figure, because it instantly establishes the sheer scale of HITI's success right out of the gate. We're not talking about a slight beat here. This is a highly optimized machine, literally firing on all cylinders to generate an astonishing top-line number.
So here's our roadmap for today. We'll be hitting 1. A record-breaking quarter. 2. Dominating Canadian retail. 3. The German medical boom. 4. The financial bottom line. And finally 5. Fueling future growth. Let's get right to it.
A record-breaking quarter and setting new all-time highs.
Remember that $179.3 million figure? It actually marks their fourth consecutive quarter hitting a brand new all-time high. And what's wild is they pulled this off despite Q2 being a historically slow, seasonal quarter with 3 fewer calendar days. We're looking at a 30% surge year over year. But even more impressively, this is the fastest growth rate they've seen in 11 quarters. It brilliantly illustrates the sheer acceleration of the business. Their strategy isn't just working, it's actively speeding up and defying gravity while a lot of their competitors are, slowing down.
Founder and CEO Raj Grover really hit the nail on the head here, and this quote perfectly sets the tone for this whole momentum narrative. He says, "Our second quarter results highlight the strength of HITI's diversified growth strategy and our ability to execute at a high level across multiple geographies. It's exactly that dual focus, diversification and geographic expansion, that serves as the foundation for everything we're about to look at." Moving on to Section 2. Dominating Canadian retail and the loyalty engine.
Let's explore their steady growth engine, Canna Cabana. And this brilliantly illustrates their absolute dominance. Since they launched their discount club model back in 2021, same-store sales are up a staggering 161%. Meanwhile, your average cannabis operator is frankly just trying to keep the lights on, seeing sales actually decline by 7%. It is a massive structural divergence in the market. So, how exactly are they pulling this off? Well, their secret weapon is their loyalty program. The Cabana Club is now the largest cannabis loyalty program globally, and the growth here is just staggering. They've blown past 2.65 million members, which is up 39%. Their paid elite tier, that surpassed 178,000 members, a massive 84% jump. And get this, they added 750,000 new members in just the last 12 months alone. They're creating this deeply entrenched, recurrent customer base that competitors simply cannot easily replicate.
All of that incredible loyalty, it fuels a massive physical footprint. 221 current Canna Cabana locations across Canada. Because of that highly engaged customer base we just talked about, the average Canna Cabana store generates 1.9 times the revenue of its peers. Let that sink in. They aren't just opening more doors, they're opening vastly more efficient, highly profitable doors.
Section 3, the German medical boom, which serves as their international catalyst.
If Canada is their steady, reliable engine, the newly integrated German medical market via Remixion is their explosive catalyst. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the dramatic improvement in profitability. Remixion hit a record $31.6 million in Q2 revenue. By continuing to integrate Remixion and beefing up their supply chain, HITI effectively cut out the middlemen. This direct procurement let them more than double their gross margins. They went from 12% in the first quarter all the way up to 27% in Q2. That's a massive leap in operational efficiency in just a few short months. And they're scaling the volume just as fast as those margins. Look at this upward trajectory. In Q2, Remixion distributed a record 7.6 tons of medical cannabis straight into the German market. To put that into perspective, that sheer volume cemented their market share at over 14%. They are rapidly establishing the exact same kind of market dominance in Germany that we just saw they have in Canada.
Section 4, the financial bottom line. Let's unpack the data.
We've seen all these operational wins, right? But how does that actually translate into cold, hard cash? So the crucial point is how these numbers stack up against last year. We already touched on the 30% jump in revenue to $179.3 million, but look at what happens right below that. Gross profit jumped 36% to a record $48.4 million. And adjusted EBITDA, that's on an absolutely incredible 73% jump, hitting $13.9 million. That's their fastest growth rate for that metric in 9 quarters. It's clear as day. As revenues go up, their profitability is going up even faster.
Now, you might notice free cash flow took a little dip to $1.48 million, but that was due to some necessary working capital investments. Because honestly, the real story of their financial health is right here. Income from operations absolutely skyrocketed by 554% to a record $6.1 million. The underlying corporate machine is generating cash from its core operations better than it literally ever has before.
And finally, Section 5, Fueling Future Growth. What's next?
Everything we've looked at today sets up their global playbook. And this right here is a massive milestone. HITI secured credit approval from the Bank of Montreal for $40 million in senior secured credit facilities. So what's the so what factor here? Landing a Tier 1 traditional bank as a long-term credit partner is a real watershed moment in the cannabis industry. It gives them the ultimate non-dilutive fuel. They can fund aggressive future global expansion without having to issue more stock and dilute their current shareholders. It's a huge win.
And that brings us to the ultimate question. CEO Raj Grover noted they're now eyeing other markets in Europe to build out these global ambitions. Think about it. With ironclad market share dominance secured in Canada and Germany, an exploding loyalty program, massively expanding margins, and now a $40 million war chest from a Tier 1 bank, which European market is HITI going to conquer next? It is a truly fascinating setup, and for sure, we'll be watching their next move very closely. Thanks for joining me for this explainer. Keep learning, and I'll see you next time.